Hello and welcome to another episode of today's GK. I am Pooja Devedi, and in this segment we bring to you objective questions to help you crack prelims. So let's begin with the practice question of the last segment. Consider the following statements regarding National Clean Air Program. It is the first ever effort in the country to frame a national framework for air quality management with a time-bound reduction target. It seeks to cut the concentration of coarse PM10 and fine particles by at least 20 to 30% by 2024, with 2017 as the base year for comparison. So we have to select the correct statement. Both these statements are correct. The correct answer to this question is option C. The World Health Organization, in its first ever update since 2005, has tightened global air pollution standards in a recognition of the emerging science in the last decade that the impact of air pollution on health is much more serious than earlier envisaged. The government has dictated National Clean Air Program that aims for a 20 to 30% reduction in particulate matter concentration by 2024 in 122 cities, keeping 2017 as base year. For the comparison of concentration, these are cities that don't meet the NAAQS, that is National Ambient Air Quality Standards, when calculated from 2011 to 15. And it is the first ever effort in the country to frame a national framework for air quality management with a time-bound reduction target. Moving on, consider the following statements with respect to Sustainable Development Goals. These are legally binding and these goals are country-specific. The Sustainable Development Goals Fund is an international, multi-donor and multi-agency development mechanism created in 2014 by the United Nations. So we have to select the correct statement. These are not actually legally binding and they are common to every country. The third statement is correct, but the first and second are not. So we have to select the correct statement. The option C is correct. The rising concentration of carbon dioxide will impact all of the 17 United Nations mandated Sustainable Development Goals, according to a recent report released by the World Meteorological Organization. And there are 17 Sustainable Development Goals and 169 specific targets common to all countries. Moving ahead to the next question, consider the following statements. Unlike Antarctica, the Arctic is not a global common. The hole in the ozone layer over the Arctic is one of the largest and deepest according to WMO. We have to select the correct statement. The first statement is correct, but the second is not, because the hole in the ozone layer over Antarctica and not Arctic is one of the largest and deepest. So the correct answer is option A. September marks the end of the summer sea ice melt season and the Arctic sea ice minimum, when sea ice over the northern hemisphere ocean reaches its lowest extent of the year. Unlike Antarctica, the Arctic is not a global common. The hole in the ozone layer over Antarctica is one of the largest and deepest in the past 15 years according to the WMO. Moving on, consider the following statements with respect to winged microchip. It is the smallest human-made flying structure. It does not have a motor or an engine. This has been prepared by the students of IIT Kharagpur in collaboration with DRDO. We have to select the correct statement. The first and the second are correct, but the third is not. The correct answer is option B. Recently, engineers from Northwestern University and not IIT Kharagpur and DRDO have created an electronic microchip with the capability of flight. Moving on to the next question. The Surya Kiran is a biennial battalion-level military exercise. India conducts this exercise with which of the following countries? Surya Kiran is an exercise which is biennial battalion-level military exercise between India and Nepal. The correct answer is option D. Recently, the armies of India and Nepal have started the 15th edition of Joint Battalion-Level Military Exercise Surya Kiran at Pithoragarh in the Indian state of Uttarakhand. Moving on, consider the following statements. Blue flag certification is an indication of the sound health of the beach. India has launched its own eco-label beams on the lines of blue flag certification. We have to select the correct statement. The first and the second, both are correct. The correct answer is option C. Recently, Foundation for Environment Education, Denmark, has awarded the Blue Flag certification to Kovalam in Tamil Nadu and Eden in Puducherry, taking the total number of such beaches in the country to 10. A waving blue flag is an indication of 100% compliance to the 33 stringent criteria and sound health of the beach. On the lines of Blue Flag certification, India has also launched its own eco-label BEAMS, that is Beach Environment and Aesthetics Management Service. Moving on, consider the following statements with respect to the solar DC cooking technology. It has been developed by CSIR and MNRE. It has the ability to reduce 1 ton of CO2 per year per household. We have to select the correct statement. The second is correct, but the first is not. So the correct answer to this question is option B. Taking a small step in realizing the dream of a pollution-free India, the CSIR-CMERI has developed a solar DC cooking system. Now this technology has been developed by CSIR-CMERI. It has been transferred to 2 companies, Asansol Solar and LED House and Miko Solar and Infrastructure Associate, Durgapur. The solar DC cooking system is a solar energy based cooking system that includes a solar PV panel, charge controller, battery bank and cooking oven. The technology offers a clean cooking environment, inverter free direct operation, fast and uniform heating and the ability to reduce 1 ton of CO2 per year per household. Consider the following statements with respect to the G20. This is the international forum that brings together the world's major economies. Its members account for more than 50% of the world GDP. The Troika countries are currently Saudi Arabia, Italy and India. We have to select the incorrect statement. The Troika are a group of countries which consists of the G20 presidencies of the last year, the current year and the coming year. So Saudi Arabia did attend as a president, did hold the chairship of the G20 in 2020. Italy holds this year and Indonesia holds next year. Now India is set to hold the presidency of the G20 in 2023. So the second statement is incorrect. Also the first statement is incorrect because its members account for more than 80% of world GDP. So the correct answer to this question is option C. At the G20 virtual foreign ministers meeting on Afghanistan yesterday, China reiterated its support for the interim Taliban government in Kabul. G20 is the international forum that brings together the world's major economies and its members account for more than 80% of world GDP, 75% of global trade and 60% of the population of the planet. A troika represented by the country that holds the presidency, its predecessor and its successor works to ensure continuity within the G20 and we have Saudi Arabia, Italy and Indonesia in the troika. Moving on, consider the following statements with respect to the new WHO norms on air quality. The WHO has said that a concentration of over 15 micrograms is not safe. By WHO's own admission, more than 90% of the world's population lived in areas which did not meet its 2005 population standards. So we have to select the correct statement. Both these statements are correct. The correct answer is option C. The World Health Organization on Wednesday released stringent air quality guidelines lowering the recommended levels of pollutants that can be considered safe for human health. While a particulate matter 2.5 concentration of 25 micrograms per cubic meter in 24-hour period was considered safe earlier, the WHO has now said that a concentration of over 15 micrograms is not safe. Moving on, the new air quality guidelines mean that nearly entire India would be considered a polluted zone for the most of the year. By WHO's own admission, more than 90% of the world's population lived in areas which did not meet its 2005 pollution standards. This power station, the power station of which state of India, has been awarded the Blue Planet Prize? Telangana, Sikkim, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala. The correct answer to this question is option B, that is Sikkim. NHPC's 510 megawatt Teesta 5 power station, located in the Himalayan state of Sikkim, has been conferred with the prestigious Blue Planet Prize by International Hydropower Association, which is a London-based non-profit membership association operating in 120 countries, and the power station has been built, owned and operated by NHPC. Moving on, consider the following countries: Botswana, Tanzania, Eswatini, Democratic Republic of Congo. Which of the above mentioned countries have a border with Mozambique? So, Tanzania and Eswatini are the correct answer here. The correct answer is option C. A multinational military force in Mozambique has rescued 87 women and children from a militant base in Mozambique in the conflict-hit northern province of Cabo Delgado. Mozambique is a country located in southeastern Africa, bordered by the Indian Ocean to the east, Tanzania to the north, Malawi and Zambia to the northwest, Zimbabwe to the west, and Eswatini, that is Swaziland, and South Africa to the southwest. Moving on to the practice question. Consider the following statements. It is used for condiments and dyes, drugs, cosmetic, and religious purposes. India is the leading producer and exporter. It requires high rainfall and an altitude of 1500 meters for growth. So the above statements most appropriately is related to which of the following agricultural products? Saffron, turmeric, tobacco, apricot. So I hope you'll be answering it correctly in the comment segment. That's it for today. Tomorrow we shall meet again with another segment. Until then, stay updated and thank you so much for watching.